Laura and I were supposed to have a weekend in Maui for a friend's wedding, but then our plans changed. Laura had to stay home with the kids, and we canceled the rental car and all of our excursions. So as I arrived after dark at the Wailea Beach Resort, I wondered if I'd just be stuck lounging at the resort all weekend. But don't you worry. I found plenty to do. The resort had some beautiful facilities and multiple food options from which I need to find gluten-free and dairy-free food for myself. But first, let's see the room. The finishes of the bathroom were high-end and the cleanliness was up to par. I like these bath products on the wall well enough. And I really liked that they had a rain shower head and a handheld attachment. The storage was enough for me, with nice robes and a safe in the closet. The beds were comfortable and it came with a nice little seating area. In Hawaii, what you really came for is a balcony with a view. Okay, it's kind of hard to tell in the dark. Quick summary of my breakfast at Humble Kitchen this morning. It's pretty much the main restaurant here at the Wailea Beach Resort. There's another smaller restaurant that's right by the family pool, but Humble Kitchen, which is a Roy Yamaguchi restaurant, is the main restaurant right off the lobby. For breakfast, they've got both a buffet as well as a regular menu, an a la carte menu. I skipped the buffet. I didn't feel confident that there'd be quite as many options or specializations for me, so I said, okay, let me go ahead and just order a la carte off the menu. I did get some shots though of the buffet if you want to take a look at those. And they do have some really good allergen markings on the buffet items, so it's not that you can't make it work. I just wanted to do something a little bit more specialized. So I did get a perfectly passable almond milk latte. There's better coffee options elsewhere at this resort, so in the end I'll probably try one of those tomorrow and the day after instead of relying on the restaurant for my coffee needs. I'll probably even get more coffee later on today. I did ask, because the menu is marked really well as far as the pancake and waffle items being gluten-free, which is awesome and amazing. I did ask if it was possible to make them dairy-free, and it wasn't, so I did have to skip those, but they did confirm that they were able to make the omelet for me dairy-free, which is great. So I went ahead with that. I got a side, and it was really tasty, and the veggies were fresh. I got a side of the chicken mango sausage, which was really good, and had a good sweetness and saltiness to it. It was nice. Their toast, their gluten-free toast that they were able to give me was great. It was like crunchy, and so that was really good. I was also glad that the potatoes were able to work. Sometimes potatoes can be hit or miss, but I was glad to get those. Would have been perfectly fine with the rice as well, but the potatoes worked. I'm also grateful that there was fruit included, which wasn't mentioned on the menu, and it also wasn't like generic cantaloupe. It was there was actually some regional fruit, which was really nice. Small little tweaks, I would say. Unfortunately, they did still serve me dairy butter as well as jelly to go on my toast, they did say don't eat the butter, so I'm grateful for that, but it would have been better had they just not even put it on the plate, or if they had provided some sort of plant-based butter option. That would have been, like gold standard. And but other than that, I do have to say the staff here is incredibly warm and hospitable, so I'm really grateful for that. And now I'm at this gorgeous pool complex, and that's where I'm going to spend the rest of the day, doing some reading, catching up on emails and stuff. But lovely way to start the day so far. And that was after a run, so I did manage to get a 2.5 mile run in. You'll see this Wailea beach path right here. You see some people walking by right now. I was able to do a 2.5 mile run down south and back up here, that's a nice way to start the day. Just a quick description of my lunch earlier today. So I went with the poke bowl, which was labeled as gluten-free, so I felt safe about that. And I did have a quick discussion with the server about the sauce that was included, but there's no dairy in it. There was a little bit of egg, but it was fine. It was interesting. Normally we don't eat soy in our family. I did not get the edamame removed, and I had a little bit of it, but that was one item that we don't normally eat too often in our family. And then for a drink, they had a Maker's Mark Wailea Beach Resort exclusive. I don't know what that means, but it's bourbon, which I like. That's my favorite. And it was an old-fashioned made with a macadamia nut orgeat. So I did specifically ask if the orgeat was gluten-free, and she said that the bartender would check the ingredients on it. So all good there. I also wanted to mention that with each order, the server asked if anybody had any kind of allergy requirements. So they're very proactive about it, which is great. Still, when things get served, there's no kind of like reference to the allergy requirement, nor are there any kind of like flags in the item, nor is it very clear on the receipt. But they're still very proactive about it, so I feel pretty safe about it. Morning, everyone. For this, my second morning here, it's a little bit cooler than it was yesterday. And last night was an incredible wedding that I got to experience. First time I've ever had a real destination wedding, actually, now that I think about it. And now, going forward, I'm going to make the rule that everyone has to do destination weddings because it forces you to go on vacation. We were out at the beach in front of the adults-only pool, the Serenity Pool, and it had an incredible view of the sunset and beautiful ceremony. And after the ceremony, we moved like 10 feet over for the cocktail hour as the sun truly set, which provided some amazing views. We also had this special guest visitor, so you'll see that. And then from there we headed upstairs into a meeting room space almost adjacent to Humble Kitchen, where I had that breakfast yesterday. And they had dance floor set up and a DJ and a photo booth. My friends who got married, one of them is a flight attendant and one of them just loves to travel. And so you can see all of the tables were themed for specific destination airports. So I was Haneda in Tokyo, which was also good because we got to think about Tokyo Disneyland as well. And it was just a great event. They did some past appetizers, some of which I couldn't have, most of which I couldn't have actually. And then for the main course, they did a buffet out in the kitchen area where they do the breakfast buffet. And I asked one of the main servers there, I said, okay, I have dietary restrictions. And they were like, lay it on me, this is easy. And so there wasn't a whole lot that I could have on the buffet itself. I was able to have the chicken. That was the one thing that was able to work. But they were able to, from the kitchen, get me all the vegetables, so 2 different kinds of vegetables, a side of rice, which was not on the buffet and a fish entree. And they brought it out to me, brought it over to my seat, straight from the kitchen. So took incredible care of me. And then even for dessert, the server who took care of me on the buffet, without me even having to ask, just immediately came over and brought me 3 different flavors of sorbet, which I had seen earlier on the menu. So I know that they're like, it wasn't just Haagen-Dazs out of a carton. One was a mango, I think one was a passion fruit, and one was like almost like a rose honey, and they had some really nice fruit sprinkled on top of it as well. So the service here has been really fantastic the whole time I've been here, which is great. The day after a wedding, you don't necessarily go for a run or go to the gym, but I woke up because I'm still on New York time, and I'm going to be headed back to New York before I get off of New York time. But I'm still on New York time, so I woke up, and now I'm here at the food truck getting my breakfast here. Sorry, when I say food truck, there's 2 different places. There's actually a food truck that's a little further from here that does like lunch, but this is Whale's Tail, which does coffee and sandwiches and acai bowls. So let's take a look. So that was a bit of a strikeout for breakfast, actually. Again, very, very nice staff, but a couple items didn't really work. So I got a latte. That's all I got, which I also could have gotten at Starbucks, but it is what it is. So I got a latte out of it. I couldn't walk away empty-handed. They had almond milk, so that was that. They also had an oat milk that was Kirkland brand, and I don't know if Kirkland brand oat milk is certified gluten-free. If you know, can you answer in the comments? Thanks. Anyway, food. So I was looking at the acai bowls. That was my hope for something that would work. And they have granola that they put on top of it. I said, is your granola gluten-free? And they said, no, it's not. I said, okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. But the acai base actually has granola in it. It contains oats, but it was clearly not labeled gluten-free. So I also checked the ingredients, and it didn't say that it contained wheat, but I think there's a realization that whatever oats they're using are not certified gluten-free oats, and so that doesn't work. Then they were like, but maybe this muffin, it's gluten-free. It was clear it had dairy in it. And then they were like, how about oatmeal? And I was like, okay, I could have had the oatmeal. I genuinely could have had the oatmeal. But a Maui breakfast is not, I don't usually think oatmeal for that. So I'm gonna go over by the pool and hang out. And I've got my latte, and I've got some snacks, which I will have for breakfast. And I'll be fine. There's certainly a lot of different luau options across the islands, but the great thing about the Tea on Moana luau is that it is right downstairs at the Wailea Beach Resort. So you don't have to worry about traveling anywhere, you just go right downstairs and you're there. Now, when you purchase your tickets, you have a choice between standard seating and premium seating. I went with the standard seating. It was perfectly fine for me. At the end of the day, the meal was essentially the same and the view was great no matter what. So I don't know that you need to necessarily spend extra for the premium seating.
We got Lay's.
Yeah, we are. So as you arrive, they take you over to your table, you grab a seat, you get settled, and then you have access to the bar for a few minutes before everything gets started properly. So far, so good. When I checked in, I mentioned that I had dietary restrictions. They had everything noted already. They walked through the menu with me a little bit and basically said that I would get my own version of everything. And then when I went up to the bar to get a lava flow, which is a strawberry pina colada, I confirmed that it was also gluten-free, which sometimes with frozen drinks it can be hit or miss. And they also said to confirm that even though it was coconut milk, that it wasn't dairy-based. So, doing well so far. Aloha!
Hi, Cutty. If you enjoyed your vacation, make some noise. Everybody say phone. Phone. It's the happy scream of our people. It sounds just like this. So happy.
Something I didn't realize that the Wailea Beach Resort had before I arrived that I actually thought was really fantastic was an arrival and departures lounge. The thing about flying to Hawaii is that you're going to get there at odd hours, right? Either at night or early in the morning, and you're not going to necessarily either have access to your room or you're going to lose access to your room well before you need to head to the airport. They have drying machines for your bathing suits, showers, sitting areas, computers. It's a good option if you've got some odd travel hours. Wrapping up my last day here at the Wailea Beach Resort, my last day here at Maui. I fly home tonight about 11 p.m., so I've got a whole day ahead of me. Overall, the resort was a beautiful grounds, an amazing view, as you can see. Staff was really, really warm. Food was good. A couple things that I think could be cleaned up from an allergen perspective. At the Luau last night, it was a little hit or miss. The person who sat us was fantastic and knew all the things to let me know about on the menu, but my server herself didn't know as much about the details. So that was a little tricky, but I would say the big sort of learning lesson there is to get to know the menu ahead of time. They have it posted online, and it's really well labeled with all of the various allergens on it. So knowing that, I was sort of able to overcome the fact that the server didn't know as much. If I didn't feel confident there, I would have asked somebody else, because it was clear that there were some servers who really knew the answers to that. That being said, the poke there was great, so I just kept basically eating that throughout the whole night. Garlic fried rice was really good. The sweet potatoes were really good and not like cloyingly sweet. They were really tasty. The show was fun. Didn't feel like we were there. We were there 3 hours, a little bit more than 3 hours, and didn't feel like it at all. Went by really, really quickly. And some of the history that they talk about in the Luau itself is really cool. So had a great time there, had a great time at my stay here. And today I'm going to be going all around this area. I've got 3 or 4 different stops, maybe even 5 stops planned out. So head on over to that for the rest of the day.